Hello everyone and welcome to your March 2022 reading. This is a collective reading for your sun, moon, or rising sign. I have some announcements and some things to tell you about the format changes, but before I get into that, I just want to say for anyone who's new and just coming to see me for the first time, hi, I'm Nonamae. Also, collective readings can't obviously capture what's going on specifically for every single Aries or Sagittarius or whatever, right? So I would say take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And also check out, if you're checking out your sun sign, check out your your rising sign I would suggest next, and then your moon I would say maybe last, for whichever resonates with you the best, right? So there might be one that resonates more this month than the other. The other thing is that we are self-determined, not predetermined, so please remember that. If you hear something that feels anxiety inducing in some way, then make sure to just kind of check in with yourself and remember that if you hear something that sounds scary or disturbing, there is a reason for that. That information is given to us so that we can kind of course correct. It's like you see the train coming down the tracks and you have the ability to step off to the right or step off to the left, whichever way that you want to go, right? So just keep that in mind. I do think that there's an amount of fate somewhere in our lives in the world, but I think for the most part it's really about our free will. So sometimes I think the information that we get gives us the information to either affirm certain things or to let us know, hey, maybe you want to shift track, so that's all I really want to say about that. If you do want a specific reading, you want something that's definitely more about your situations, what you're dealing with, and is specific to your energy, then I would recommend getting a personal reading, and the link for that is down below. Okay, that's all out of the way. That's all said. Now let's get into some stuff that I'm pretty excited about. So laugh if you must, but I have to have notes so that I can remember to say everything I wanted to say to you guys. So I'll try to move through this as quickly as possible. This is also for your benefit so that I'm not long-winded, even though we all know I'm long-winded. So I don't go on forever. All right. So there has been a shift in the format this month, and that's really more so based on the feedback that I got. So a lot of people DM'd me that watched it, maybe not a lot of people, but a few people DM'd me that watched it, and they let me know what they thought I could maybe shift. And so I took that into account, and the things that I kind of heard over and over, I thought, well, let me experiment. So if I moved something that you really liked and wanted me to keep from the last month, please let me know. Throw it down in the comments or shoot me a DM like the other people did, and then that way I can kind of gauge how to continue to improve the format here, right? Okay, so that all said, let's get on to all of the announcements that I'm pretty excited about. All right, so last month we had our first Cards and Cocktails events. We did two on Valentine's Day, and they were so much fun. So I'm definitely keeping them. I'm hoping that they really even continue to pick up. Right now, I'm looking at once, maybe twice a month. So the best way to really know about that is to stay in contact with me. I'm going to start trying to plan them ahead of time and put them in the descriptions for these videos. But for right now, the best way is through social media. So definitely check out the links for that so that you can stay in touch if you want to be a part of it. But it was super fun. Cards and Cocktails is just bring your cocktail, bring your mocktail, bring your wine, and bring your questions. And it's totally free. It's just hey, let's hang out. Let me pull cards about whatever your questions are. And I just hung out for as long as there were people coming through. So it was so much fun that I decided I'm gonna definitely continue doing it. So if you want to know when the next one is, I'm thinking it might be second week of March, so I'm not really sure yet. I'm trying to solidify those dates currently, in the next couple of days. So those should be up soon. Along with that, I'm considering doing a tarot after dark kind of thing. And that's kind of bring your juicy, dark, shadowy types of questions and let's kind of dig into it, right? And that's another kind of hangout that I'm considering. If that sounds cool with you, please let me know, because it's what helps me know what to continue to create, right? Okay, so next thing is, right, I have some new, see, this is why I have a list. I have some new options on Patreon for weekly and monthly readings. So, and those are also live version, doing live readings with me, or just one-to-one, or doing a recorded. So, and those are different pricing tiers. But if you are looking for just kind of like ongoing guidance around, I don't know, maybe you're dealing with some relationship stuff or something with business or a project, or you just like having the consistent guidance about certain things and you just want to have that and know what's going on for the week or the month, then those options are available to you. So you can do a monthly reading, live or recorded. You can do a weekly reading, live or recorded. The weekly readings are 30 minutes long, and the monthly readings are 90 minutes long, sometimes 90 plus, depending on what's really coming up. So I'm only at the beginning opening up 4 spots for each of those tiers, because I just want to make sure that I'm able to deliver on time. And so I don't want to have an influx of people and not be able to deliver. So I might open up more spots, but for right now, I'm keeping it at 4 for each of those tiers. So that's just opened up. I really just created that the other day. All right. So along with that, with Patreon, I noticed that it's lacking in some flexibility for purchase options. So I do recognize, because these are collective readings, perhaps because every month your sun, moon, or rising may not be resonant with you, like maybe one month it is and one month it isn't. And so if you're doing Patreon, you're subscribed to getting them every month, right? So I have decided that I need to create a, it's been a long time coming, but I need to just create a really simple web page. So I'm working on that. It might take me 1 to 2 months, but I want to be able to offer that if this particular month resonates with you, that you can purchase a one-off instead of needing to really be in a subscription for that. I think that the monthly and weeklies make more sense for Patreon. So I'd like to have some flexibility in that. So for right now, you can do it through Patreon, but I am trying to have that out, like just a really simple, it's not going to be a fancy web page or anything like that, just a simple, you know, able to purchase those. Also, the options are a little limited for how to create bundles. So let's say that you really want to buy your sun and rising, or your sun and moon, just basically 2 out of the 3, or you want your sun, moon, and rising extended because you want all of them. So if you want something like that, or let's say that, you know, you watched your sun sign, your friend watched their sun sign, and you guys both want the extended, I want you guys to be able to just purchase those for the month. So there will be options to purchase 2 or to purchase 3, and those bundles of course will just be at like a little bit of a discounted rate, so that, you know, because you're buying more than one. So I just wanted to let you guys know that's on the horizon. That's something that I'm creating. With so much on my plate right now, honestly, it might take me about like 1 to 2 months to actually get that done. So okay, there's that. Sorry, just a little bit more. So the new and full moon readings that I talked about last month for starting. So I didn't do them for the month of February, and I am considering, I'm not sure whether I should do a recorded version here on YouTube or whether I should do a live hangout. So I would love some feedback about that, if you guys could let me know so that I know what to create. But this new moon that is kicking off March on March 2nd is going to be huge. Really, really big. Lots of astrologers that I follow and trust, and other people that I know energetically have been talking about this, and it is going to be a big one. So because of that, I already have a lot on my plate that day. I may not be able to make the new moon for this month for March, but then the full moon in Libra, which I believe is on the 18th, I may be able to do one, or I'll definitely be able to do one then. So I'm not sure whether I should do a live, because then at least you guys can join and then just show up and ask your questions and we can just hang out, or whether I should do a collective, just one overall. So let me know your thoughts about that. I'm gonna make that decision in the next probably week and a half tops, so that I can get that information out there to you guys. Okay, this is the other thing. All right, this is a big deal. I don't know if you guys are aware that Facebook has made changes that are going to be effective on Facebook and Instagram. I don't know whether YouTube is following suit. I have no idea. I need to do more research on this, but they are effectively changing the way that people in certain fields are able to be discovered, or their ability to market to people who are interested in what they have to offer. Amongst those are astrologers and tarot readers, spiritual coaches, things like that. So definitely affects the realms that I'm in. So if you we don't really know the extent to which this is going to affect things. So I'm already kind of looking ahead and trying to see where I might put my attention, what other things I can create as a result to pivot because of this. So one of the things that I just wanted to kind of bring to your attention is, if you weren't aware of this, check it out for yourself. I'm also going to do more research and see kind of how it rolls out and what it looks like. But if there are certain astrologers that you really resonate with, tarot readers, people in these realms, including myself, it's really helpful to us to just share what we are offering. If you resonate with it, if you like the content, more than ever, it's going to be about supporting community. And so I definitely am planning to do that myself with the astrologers and the tarot readers and the spiritual workers that I actually follow and work with. So I feel like, there's a lot of talk about why this is happening and that it's another level of censorship. And I am kind of holding off on what I totally think about it until I see how this actually plays out. However, it's not necessarily encouraging. So I just wanted to bring that up. It is helpful. Please do share it for myself, for you, for like your friends, for other people that, that you follow, that you resonate with. Just something to know is that sharing and being in community is probably going to be the way that most of us who do what we do are able to continue doing what we do. So I just wanted to mention that. And also to stay in touch. And for right now, I haven't created any other kind of platform to bring people onto. So for right now, I mostly post on Instagram. My Instagram handle is down below, so definitely follow me if you're not following me already. That's the main way that you can stay up on the cards and cocktails, the tarot after dark, the new and full moon readings, and any kind of new announcements that I roll out. Speaking of which, I am rolling out a referral, kind of like an affiliate type of link program thing. And so that'll be in effect probably by the next 2 weeks, maybe week and a half. So it could be sooner, the first half of the month for sure. And I'm trying to decide on what it is that I want to be able to give back and reward you guys with for sending a referral. It's a really easy link, and you just basically get your own personal link and you can share it very easily. And I want to make sure that I say thank you. So I'm thinking maybe a discount on personal readings with me as a reward. Let me know your thoughts. If you have ideas for what you think you would like and what would be a thank you to you that would feel good for sending a referral, then please let me know so that I can kind of get the wheels turning on that. I definitely want to release that quickly. So, and the other thing is, with all this is the last thing, I swear. So moving ahead, looking ahead, and not knowing how this is all going to affect us, I am looking at another live streaming platform that's relatively new, and it allows for posting your questions in a chat and for doing live readings and all the things. But I think the struggle has been trying to figure out doing readings on on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, and do I do cards and cocktails on each one of those or only on one, and where do I do all of the hangouts? And this is kind of one way for me to bring everyone together into one space. You don't have to create an account, you don't have to sign on to a program or anything like that, but you just have the link, kind of like a Zoom, and you just hop on. So this is something that I'm actually gonna probably be trying out. That looks like more towards the end of March. So again, if you stay in touch with me, otherwise I will be probably announcing it on next month's readings. Okay, that is everything. That was a lot, but a lot has developed and a lot is moving. By the way, I am loving this. My friend, I'm just gonna call you out, Crystal, she gave me this beautiful kimono and I just love wearing it, and I'm wearing it today, so I had to look at it in the screen. I love this. So thank you, Crystal. I love it. Okay, I think that's all. So please enjoy your readings this month. Let me know if you have any feedback, and thank you for your patience and for listening to all that if you did. And please share, subscribe, and I will see you guys next month. Enjoy. Bye. Hello, Leo, and welcome to your March 2022 reading. So this is a collective reading for sun, rising, or moon for Leo, right? So remember, this is a collective reading, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If this one doesn't resonate, maybe check out the other two. You know, if this is your sun, check out your rising, check out your moon, see which one resonates with you the best. So also, if you're wanting something that's more specific to you, then maybe booking a 90-minute reading session with me. The link for that is down below. And also, if you did skip ahead to this part of the reading, just to let you know, there's a whole bunch of new stuff that I'm offering and doing, and new events and kind of new developments, and I explain a little bit in the change of the format based on the feedback that I've gotten so far. So without further ado, if you're curious about that, if you want to know more about that, I definitely recommend going back and checking that out. I have taken time to clear myself, clear the cards, and without further ado, let's get into your reading for this month. I am trying to shuffle away from the mic because I have heard that it can be a little bit loud when I'm doing specific certain kinds of shuffles. So I want to make sure that I try and turn away from the mic while shuffling. You guys let me know if that's better. Okay. So we're going to start with general, what is coming up for Leos in the month of March. What's the overall feeling and vibe that we have going on here. All right. And what we have coming up as a challenge. And let's take a look at the spiritual advice. All right, so we had actually a few come up. All right, and we're going to get deeper into these. So we're still gonna dive into them just like we did last month, but I'm just gonna kind of put some of these out of shot so that we can get also what's going on with your business, career, finances. So remember, you don't have to be an entrepreneur. This could be like you inside of a company or whatever it is, or dealing with your finances in general. So we're gonna take a look at that. That's a nice one to have pop up. And what the challenges that's coming up. Okay. And also, what is the spiritual advice? And your guides, for some of you out there, have a whole bunch of spiritual advice to say to you guys. So clearly there's a whole lot of advice coming up. So we're gonna pull some of these out of frame while we take a look at what's coming up for the overall vibe of the month of March. Okay. Okay. Okay, so some of you are actually looking, now this could be looking over at the horizons about like seeing the big picture, what's coming next. Some of you are trying to kind of envision like, where do I want to go next in my life? What's the next adventure that I'd like to go on? But this could actually mean literal travel, that some of you are turning your attention towards foreign travel. I know that things go back and forth between places opening up for travel, places not being open for travel. So, but that could be literal for some of you. It just, from whatever else I'm seeing show up here, I think for a bunch of you, this is really just about looking at the next horizon. What are the things that you're wanting to like take action and move towards? Like, which world have you decided, which adventure have you decided that you want to go on to next? And what does that look like? Starting to make the plans and starting to kind of really conceptualize this, right? What you're desiring, right? Then we see what is coming up as a challenge card in this position. And with the challenge card is like the Eight of Pentacles. In a challenge position like this, some of you might be resistant to doing some of the necessary work, or to concentrating and putting your time, attention, and skill, maybe honing your skills, but also putting that kind of dedication into something. Now, if you're still trying to figure out what it is that you want to do next and it hasn't fully concretized, like as far as which path you're going to be taking, that makes sense. But for some of you, it might be just like, I'm going to be stuck in vision land. I'm going to continue to be in that space, and I don't want to actually do the work that's going to take to get there. Or maybe you're feeling bored with the paths that you're actually, considering, or the ones that you've been traversing for a while now, and you're just kind of like, I'm done with that. I don't really want to do that anymore. I don't want to put my energy and attention into that. But the challenge here is that there's going to be the need to put your time and attention and skill into, or honing your craft, whatever it is, into what it is that you want to create next. This could be related to business, finances, your physical world, right? When we're looking at the pentacles, we're looking at the physical world around us. So it's not just your money, it's also your physical environment, your home, everything that has to do with the world of tangibility, right? So that's what we're looking at here. So this could have to do with a lot of other things that happen in our day-to-day world, right? So when I'm seeing the challenge here, I actually would like to put this up here with this, because I'm seeing there's a storyline here. So there are, for some of you, it seems like it's really, there have been things that have patterns that have not been working out that are still getting played out here. And I think it has to do with the shadow. So you're being told by your guides, like, hey, what are the fears that you have? What are the skeletons in the closet? What are the things that are shadowy blind spots, things that you're not necessarily really wanting to necessarily face and look at? What are those things, and how might that be playing a part in some patterns being repeated and not really, being able to move forward into the next venture, to the next adventure, and the things that you want to go forward and create because of being stuck in certain kinds of patterns here. But I also see a connection here, because this is also a world of not just the shadows, the things that are kept in the shadows that we only see when we shine the light on them, but also this can be a world of things that are obscured, things that are not quite clear, and also feeling some confusion over that lack of clarity, right? But that means that it also dips its toes into the world of the illusions, right? And so when we look over here and we see the cups, the Four of Cups showing up, this is typically a card where it's kind of like, hey, the universe, your guides, the universe, certain deities, whoever it is that you believe in, they're trying to give you some help here and trying to say, like, hey, check out, like, there are these opportunities, there are these other things to look at, but you're so focused on what hasn't really worked, or these past patterns being connected to what you're so focused on, that it's kind of almost like either you don't see it, right? Having the lack of clarity to actually see it. It seems obscured. You're like, I feel like I'm trying to get help, but I just can't seem to really recognize it. So, or that you're just kind of like, well, no, that's not exactly what I wanted. I don't like the way that choice looks or feels. It's not my preferred way of doing it. It's not the best feeling, option or choice available to me. So I'm just gonna pretend like that doesn't even really exist. And so that could be part of what's coming up here. It just looks like this is all very much connected, and you're being told to, like, hey, go within and take a look at some of these things. The other thing that's coming up here that I see is, on the flip side of that, not just looking at some of the things that are maybe challenging to look at, you're being told to remember your worth and your value, right? What are you moving towards? What things, because the Knights are about that forward movement, right? They're about that kind of action. They're usually action oriented in some way. And we're looking at the Cups. So, like, what ideals, what love even, but what ideals or dreams or love are you moving towards? And how can that be connected to, when we're looking at Cups 2, this is emotion. So let's also bring in your emotion or your intuition being connected to, being aligned with what you're moving towards. Like, tap into your feelings, see what's actually there that you're wanting to move towards. And remember also what you've accomplished thus far in life, how far you've come, the things that have gotten you to the place that you are, that you can appreciate and be proud of yourself for, the things that you can value yourself for. Remember your self-worth, remember your value, remember everything that you've done that contributes to where you're heading next. Maybe you don't see how it all comes together now, but I'm sure that you've acquired a lot of things over the course of your life up to this point, wherever you're at in life, that there is value to be gleaned from that. So remember that, remember your value, remember your self-worth. And this is also a card of having it together, like somebody who's got their shit together. So, if you want to kind of move into more of that direction, this is all very much connected. You're being told what to look inwards at. And, remember to also, what are you moving? How are you actively moving towards the things, the ideals, the love, the life that you're wanting to create for yourself, the dreams that you have for yourself, bringing this all into focus. So, so that's what I'm seeing overall for for you, Leo, but let's also take a look at, I'm going to put these off to the side. Let's take a look at what's happening in the realm of career and finances, business, right? What's going on with this here? All right. Okay, so again, we're starting with the wands that showed up, right? We just had the Three of Wands, and we now have the graduation to that is the Four of Wands. So I'm guessing that for some of you, this may be connected to everything we just talked about before this, right? So when we're looking at the Four of Wands, specifically related to like business ventures or, you know, work in this kind of, you know, the world of career, right? When we're looking at it through that kind of lens, and we're looking at it for the month of March, right? The overall month of March. And so I see that this could actually be some kind of pact that is coming together, like some kind of collaboration that's coming together, maybe feeling very hopeful about the way that that can go. Sometimes this is actually about a purchase of property. This could also be about that. But mostly it's about bringing together, having this kind of treaty or pact or some kind of, you know, it can be the completion of some kind of enterprise that you were involved in, right? And feeling celebratory about that. So for some of you, that's like where I'm seeing this is related to. And that just, there's the hope for things to go really well, right? This is a feeling of, it's a hopeful feeling. It's an optimistic feeling in any way that we look at it, whether it's a purchase or the coming together of two people or the completion of something. We're hoping to reap the benefits. This is the harvest, right? We're hoping to harvest everything that we've put into this. The challenge here is that whatever position that you happen to be in, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're working within a business, whatever it is that has to do with your career and finances, what kind of ruler are you actually being? We're seeing this in the challenge position. So either I'm seeing for either some of you, this is the resistance to actually stepping into the leadership role in maybe a new way, in ways that you haven't before, maybe taking on more responsibility for a community culture within a company or within your own company, or hiring people, maybe hiring a VA if you work for yourself, right? Whatever it is, it's usually the emperor is ruling over a kingdom, right? So he's responsible for a lot of different people, which means he has to be in the leadership role position and make a lot of different decisions. For some of you, the responsibility of that might feel new, overwhelming, or just like it's been too much or it's been overwhelming and you just don't really want to do it. For others of you, it's watching which kind of ruler, which kind of leader you're choosing to be. Are you ruling with an iron fist and being kind of unreasonable about things, a little bit too hard on the people around you or even yourself, right? So what kind of leader are you actually stepping into being here? This is about action, right? This is an Aries card. So it's very like Mars oriented, very much about this like action and moving things forward, getting things done, you know, and having a very strong position. So for some of you, it's like you might be overdoing it in that area. You might want to make sure that you temper this. For those of you who are not resistant to it. And for those of you who feel like you're resistant to it, it's about stepping into this position, this kind of role in probably a way that you haven't before. And if you've been resisting it, then it's a growth edge, and you know it's going to be just beneficial for your growth anyway, anytime we hit those growth edges, right? So then we're looking over here at what you're being advised with your spiritual guidance. So it looks like there's some deliberation that needs to happen. If this is having to do with some kind of merger, some collaboration, some kind of enterprise or a purchase, any of the things that I was mentioning, then for some of you, it will actually be about legal applying this in a legal way. Sometimes the Justice card is specifically about legality. And so watching your contracts, making sure that you're checking everything to make sure that it's all good, that it's equal and balanced, and that it's just and fair. Now, for those of you who are not dealing with any kind of legal proceedings, or, you know, actually I'm getting this for some of you, this is just about finances and not necessarily so much about career, and this could be about taxes. Taxes, I know those are coming up, like the due date for that is coming up sometime very soon. It's like right around the corner. So taxes, you know, debts or anything of that kind, which could be about that responsibility and not wanting to have to deal with this, which definitely could be about like, we want to reap the benefits of the work that we put in. We want to be able to like enjoy the money that we, you know, have worked for, that we've put in the time for, right? So for some of you, that could be one way to look at this in terms of just from a financial perspective. But for others of you, there is some kind of just needing to weigh things out and make sure that whatever you're entering into, whatever collaborations, whatever kind of projects you're moving forward on, make sure that it's like just and fair and equal and balanced, and that it feels good and right for you. And for some of you, it looks like there is this need to kind of just examine for yourself, like, what are you needing to kind of, like, the Seven of Wands is like holding the line, holding your ground, right? Like there are maybe some opposing opinions or views or perspectives or, you know, like obstacles that might be coming up, and needing to, like, I find that sometimes with the Seven of Swords, it's not just about like, oh, you're being told to hold your ground, which this could be that, right? It's not just about that, but this could also be telling you like what's worth holding your ground for. You know, what do you feel is actually worth holding the line for? What values, right? Which could be connected to the Justice as well, and also to the Hermit. So the Hermit is definitely about like this going within and asking yourself the big picture questions. What are you wanting to create and why? You know, what's the purpose of the things that you're doing? You know, just like those overall big overarching life questions. And we already saw that you're like, part of that is coming through in the month of March for your general overall feel. So it looks like there's some contemplation about this that needs to also that is connected and that needs to happen, but doing some, you know, just doing some thinking about what that might be, and that allowing you to like inform your decision making, or you're weighing things out to inform like what is actually worth and valuable to hold the line for. Like what is it that you believe in? What are the desires that are worth holding the line for, holding your ground for, right? And choosing and picking which places, you know, which battles to actually engage in, right? So all of these I see being very much connected, and there is this new world to step into, right? The World card is the last card in the major arcana, and it's the card of new beginnings, because there's been a completion. The wreath signifies there's a completion of a cycle, of a circle that's actually happened here, right? So I see this card is definitely coming through with like part of the contemplation, but also remember that we saw in your spiritual advice, we saw the completion of certain patterns needing to happen, right? To be able to come into a new place. So, and also just this card being connected as well is like, what are you moving, what ideals, what things are you moving towards, right? So, and a lot of probably the things that feel obscured or where there isn't clarity will be probably resolved, I would imagine, by asking yourself the questions, right? When we're taking time to be pensive and to like to be self-reflective, to do journaling, to have conversations, for clearing conversations like with ourselves, with others, to like really work things through, we get that kind of clarity that we're really needing, right? And I definitely see that the Nine of Pentacles is connected here. So these are all things that I'm seeing being connected in with your reading here. Overall, let's now take a look at, so a lot of, it doesn't, you know, it's not bad. It's just like, you need to take some time to consider some things. Like, it's just contemplative. That's how I see it, right? So let's also take a look at what's coming up for you with regard to love, Leos, who are lion-hearted, right? Let's take a look at what's coming up with love. So love, and we want to take a look at also what is the challenge coming up, and what spiritual advice are you getting when it comes to the realm of love. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's do that. Okay. So we have 3 cards coming up for that. All right, so based on the feedback that I was getting for last month, these are going to be in the extended reading, and we will pull any kind of other clarification cards. I didn't see any clarification cards that were necessary for business and finance, and also for your overall. So the other cards that we're still covering in the extended versions, which that link is down below for on Patreon. All right, is we're going to go over the goddess and god cards to see what are the masculine and feminine archetypes. Remember, we all have these energies within ourselves, no matter how we identify, right? This is separate from that. This is just the energies of polarity within ourselves and in the universe, so we can see how we can step into these aspects of ourselves to embody them to help us move through the month. And we can also, if you do happen to be someone whose belief structures are around deities and entities that come in and are present, then these are kind of like the homies that have your back for the month. They're like, I got your back, don't even worry about it. Like, we're here, we got you, we're gonna help you through this month, right? So those are the energies that we're looking at here. Also, something else while I'm picking your spiritual advice card, overall, like some extra, I call it like it's like the extra, is just to say, like, while I know that Patreon is a monthly subscription, I am starting to work on the website in the background so that we can actually have it so that you can just buy one-off, whichever month you feel, resonates with you. You can go ahead and purchase the extended version for whichever month, and it doesn't have to necessarily be every single month, for your readings. So this is going to be for those of you who are definitely, the Hermit card came up, right? Deeper spiritual work coming up. What's the invitation there for you? The other things that are helpful. Then we actually have the shadow cards, right? Shadow cards. What is the blind spot that's coming up? If it weren't a blind spot, we'd probably be working on it already. We'd already see it, and it wouldn't be necessary to even bring up, in the space, right? So this is where we tend to get tripped up in life. Call it shadow work, call it your blind spot, whatever. Interesting, because we actually had the moon card that showed up here with that, right? So that's just something to pay attention to. And then the very last one that we're going to get into is feeling out the... going to get one of the runes, and we will check that out as well. All right, there we have it, Leo. So I will see you over on the extended. Like I said, I am working towards having that up as quickly as possible, even if it's just a basic website page where you can just purchase, if this particular reading really feels resonant with you and you want to check out the love section and all of the rest of the advice that's coming through for you, then, to be able to just purchase whichever month feels like it's aligned. And also I'm going to be putting together a package where on the same website where you can just buy your sun, moon, and rising if you want to every month. If that seems like something that you want to do, then you'll have the option to do that as well. So things that are on the horizon might take me a month or two, maybe even 3 to get all of those things completely together, but just know it's on the horizon. In the meantime, you can find the link down below for how you can get this extended reading. I will see you next month, Leo. Thank you for being here. Bye.